Like 3 last dog sets.
All right, but back to this set. He will have to get through the Zas if he wants to get back to Wizrobe and Grands. He's got a long way to go, and Zasa is his first opponent.
He's had some Puff experience. You know, Soft used to be here. Type 1 is recently stepped up to the plate, so.
Yes. Soft is definitely, in my opinion, very comparable to Zasa's style. Zasa is not necessarily hyper defensive like you see some, like in NC we have Sprankles, for instance.
Right.
He's not one of those guys who's going to wait forever on you, but he does have a very strong intuition when it comes to reads. So just be on the lookout for some big punishes from Zasa kind of out of nowhere on like some jump reads. We saw him get some really impressive reads in that set with R2 Delu, sorry. It's the first time I heard about him is today, but he's really, really good. He just barely missed out on top 8 due to getting lost in the Zasa, unfortunately. And we've seen Zasa right now work his usual game. He's got the bears. Out of nowhere, it seems like he just took control of the match.
Oh, well.
KPAN not letting the momentum get too far out of control here. He's going to keep Zasa honest, and it's going to go back to 0.
Oh, jeez.
What are you looking for from KPAN here as someone who is very versed with this matchup as, you know, you're former Falco main?
Or still Falco main.
Still Falco main.
Only ever been a Falco main. But you really want to control Puff with your lasers and kind of follow her into certain areas so that you can hit her, right? Oh, wow. Ooh. Also, don't want that to happen.
Yeah, that's the Zas right there. You know, he just kind of, you know, you can't really mess up versus this guy.
Lulled him to sleep. You know,
Phantom Shine there from KPAN needs to tighten up the spacing just microscopically.
Literally 1 pixel. So, yeah. That's pretty good.
Yes, I'm definitely feeling that KPAN's laser game has been lacking in the set with Wizrobe, but otherwise today it's been very good.
Yeah, it's definitely the strongest aspect of his Falco play. His laser game is really good. Yeah.
What would you think about like using like lasers as stage control in this matchup? Do you think it's one of the most important aspects of the matchup, or do you think it's like better to just try to get in close and shine and stuff, like kind of like a Dr. PP style?
Well, if you watch those old PP vids, what he did is he used lasers so he could get in. Oh, that was a rest right there.
Yeah.
He just flubbed that input barely, but he had the read. Like, you're right, that would have been literally an explosive read. But yeah, you know, PP back in the day, he would use lasers to force Hungrybox to be in a spot where he could, you know, get in and shine, things like that.
Yes, absolutely. And that's like sort of, even though, you know, it was so long ago that this level of play is comparable to that gameplay now. Just in terms of how it's aged. So a lot of people back then, I think this was around 2010 when we first started seeing Kevin beat Hungrybox.
Yeah.
A lot of people back then thought that this matchup was more than just in Puff's favor. But, you know, Kevin kind of changed a lot of people's minds on this. And what do you think about the matchup in terms of the competitiveness, especially on a neutral stage like Battlefield where most Melee matches will end up on the first game?
It's really like, you know, it's on paper, Falco wins, right? Like so many of his matchups on paper, Falco should, you know, be able to control the other person's neutral. But in practice, it's a lot harder than that because Puff's so, you know, she has a lot of mix-up. So you can see, you know, Zasa's moving like a demon here. It's really hard to get a read on where he's moving or whatever.
Yeah, he is. It's weird, when Puffs are really elite, when they're really high-level Puffs, their movement is so tricky because it seems like they're not moving very far. But Melee is a game of not even inches, like literal micro-centimeters, or what we like to call them is, you know, like frame advantage or something like that. But realistically, spacing is everything in this game. If you're not there, you're not going to get hit.
Yeah.
And Puff's movement, especially when you're very elite with it and you have the ability to weave in and out, it's very scary to be in. That's what we call the scary Puff, the weaving Puff.
Does Puff learn scary phase?
Nice crazy legs there from Kevin. I like the fact that he just was like, I'm going to go for the most damage possible. He keeps going back to that fair, very PP-esque. I like that.
Yeah, he can't get, you know, kill move, can't get like a strong out, but he also gets damage, which means one more straight hit might kill Puff.
And he certainly is aware of the dangers of playing someone like Zasa. He knows that at any second, if he lets his chin go just a little bit too far forward, he will get knocked out into oblivion by that rest or by a stray bear that will lead to more. Zasa barely surviving here. Great DI on a stage like Battlefield.
Can't really survive, you know, too many more of those. Maybe 2 at most.
He certainly can't afford another amazing explosive read from the Zas master.
And he was in such a good position there because no matter what KPAN did, Zas could react. If KPAN rolled, you know, got in place, then that was a jump air and then put him off stage.
Yes.
Puff doesn't want to be on stage versus the Puff, especially. So.
Brian, if you could hear me, please turn my mic up, sorry, not my mic, my headphones up just a little bit. Having a little bit of trouble hearing Sleepy with these on. So going into game 2, we see KPAN, of course, everything in our top 8 today.
That's it.
Excellent rest by Zasa. Once again, starting out this second game, great. But as I was saying, if you're following at home, you'll notice up at the top here, all of our top 8 sets are best of 5 tonight. So keep that in mind. There will be no bans, and we see Kevin take him to red and green world.
Usually in Falco's like the stage, you can kill Puff at the top easily, you know.
Absolutely.
Like, straights like that will kill fast.
Classic Cam kick there.
I miss Cam.
Dude, Tyler wobbled him into retirement.
No.
Yeah, he was like, can't do it. But Zasa has a lot of Falco practice from that man they call Ronzel, and KPAN and him are very close. And Zasa has played a lot of sets versus Cam, and while most of them have gone Cam's way, Zasa has pulled out some incredible upsets versus one of North Carolina's best in the one they call Ronzel.
Oh my God.
Excellent up smash, but it's not quite enough to end Zasa. He gets that great read and another read. Zasa is in another zone right now. I've never seen him play at this level, not even close. I've never seen him play even close to this well in my life. Keep in mind, this kid's only been around for about 2 years.
This is one of those things where, you know, usually the difference is when seeing someone play this level is the confidence, right? He's not scared to go for his reads. He's not doubting himself at all. And that's huge.
Another thing when you're this kind of like, when you're the underseeded guy who somehow made it in the top 8, we saw this with a bait, even though he didn't get very far in top 8. We saw him that, you know, the big house where he got top 8. When you're that underseeded guy who somehow made it to top 8, you're in this position where it's like, I have nothing to lose.
Right.
Nobody thought I was going to get top 8 at this. Most people didn't know who I was until here I am. And like, I'm in top 8. You know, everything's best of 5. You've got a lot of room to work. You got a lot of time to work. And Zasa, I've never really seen him get overly emotional during the game. I've definitely seen him get salty after, but he's so collected, even in a situation like this where probably thousands of people are watching on Twitch and you know, almost 100 people are watching here live. So, I mean, I've never really seen him get nervous, and this is definitely the time where if you were a newer guy, this is when you would get nervous.
Yeah, because you're not really used to playing on this stage, right?
I mean, you're playing KPAN right here. He's no slouch. Everybody knows who this guy is. He's one of Georgia's most elite.
Zasa's doing a really good job of staying in that like range above and in front of Falco, which is difficult for him to cover.
KPAN loses his cool just a little bit there, and it does cost him the stock. Zasa starting to move less. He's weaving just a little bit. He doesn't want to stay in place too long. He will get lasered a lot. I like what we're seeing here from KPAN in terms of keeping the momentum completely stale or neutral.
Yeah, even though he got kind of arrested pretty early, it's still, you know, he still keeps his composure.
Oh, nice. That could have been, do you think that could have been double shine, or did you, why do you think he didn't try to double shine there?
He could have maybe got, that's going to do it. That's it. That's why. He wanted to win.
That was a great game. That was almost like the antithesis of the second game, or the first game, rather, where Zasa kind of like won out of nowhere at the end, and then this time KPAN kind of won seemingly out of nowhere after a great 0-to-death on his part off of the top of Yoshi's. Fountain will keep Zasa alive and safe from those down Bs off the top, but will it be enough to get him back in the score lead for this set?
It's still another, you know, close quarters combat kind of stage, and Zasa seems pretty comfortable doing that, actually. Like you said, he has experience against, you know, Cam or Ron. So.
Do you think that this set, in a best of 5 set, this 1-1 game is the most important?
It definitely. It makes the biggest difference, right, in terms of overall.
Well, the last game is obviously the most important as it determines the result, but in terms of the momentum of the set and controlling the stage that you play on and stuff, this is a make it or break it game. Yeah,
for sure, because being in that, you know, that 2-1 position is so good for the person in the lead and so scary for the person in the behind.
Kevin just double laser Zasa, strolls up to him and deletes him with a spinning bird tail.
That's the first spot that I've seen Zasa use that, and it got him punished like immediately. So.
Great grab from Zasa. He will get the rest there for the easy stock.
Got him.
He's snoozing on him. Great decision there for Kevin, electing to go for damage, but he just slightly misses the read on the fading platform.
Some weird thing follow-ups you can do with down throws, Falco on Puff, but none of them are guaranteed. So.
Ooh-wee. Ooh. We're seeing Kevin try to start to lock him down here, but you got to keep in mind he is in that up throw percentage. I don't know if he would die with good DI here unless the rest was really well placed, but a bear gimp. No. Oh no.
One thing that KPAN's starting to do a lot better now is when he's choosing the laser. Oh my God, that spot dodge. But when he's choosing the laser is right when Zasa's about to land, or as Zasa's doing an aerial.
He can't really get planted and just plant and jump again, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah, because if you're aerialing, you can't jump again. If you're about to land, you know, can't jump again.
It's just that little bit of time that allows him to make up the difference in distance.
Yeah. Look how scary Zasa's neutral is. He's just jumping, getting right in KPAN's face immediately.
Yeah, he's certainly not this guy who's going to run and plank the ledge. I mean, I've seen him do it before, but he would prefer not to play that way unless he feels backed in the corner. But let me tell you this thing. Zasa don't look like much, but he is a real competitor, and he would love to compete at an even higher level than he is right now.
So KPAN's tricky edge guard mix-ups are starting to get the better of Zasa a little bit this game.
Yeah,
we'll see.
KPAN's such a veteran and such a grizzled person in this game that he's got a lot of things that he's seen a lot.
Yeah.
He's seen every situation a lot.
He's been killed off the stage as Falco a lot.
Yes, exactly. That's the product of many years of getting messed up by lots of puffs. Kevin looks calm. He doesn't look overly exerted like he did versus Wizrobe. He doesn't appear to be gassing at all.
Oh my God.
Zasa with the same face he's had on for about 9 hours.
Oh my
Great
God.
read there, forcing the tech roll at low percent. And we're dead even going into the last stock of this pivotal game 3 at Function 1. Stack it up chance starting from the crowd, led by NC's very own Reginald.
You can tell by his voice just instantly.
Yep, certainly can.
You already know. So KPAN does not have access to the easy,
It's getting a little deafening in here.
Yeah, a little bit. But you don't have access to the early down B kills as much here. So Kevin, he's got to build damage, and hopefully land something.
He needs to be careful not to get hit with a bear. He is in a perfect follow-up for bear.
That was pretty greedy back in there from KPAN, but
the lasers are appearing to be very safe in this situation. Zasa is trying to weave in and out. He gets little brother bullets and catches KPAN out of the little brother bullet. 89 to 50. Falco is in a reasonable kill percent for Puff to follow up with some bears. Puff in a reasonable kill percent for Shine Bear, forward smash. Lots of options for Falco here.
Down tilt maybe.
Lots of options for Puff. He probably is fastly approaching down tilt percent at 116.
Oh, he's waiting it out. He's going to give himself a little breather.
I really like the way he's mixing up his laser height. He's accounting for the fact that Zasa might crouch.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Zasa out of nowhere gets some lost in the Zas fettuccine with Alfredo.
Just delayed the up air just enough. Either I'm not sure if it was shield poke or if he baited KPAN into shield dropping there. But he waited just long enough because he knew that KPAN was going to be worried about that.
Incredible read from Zasa. Like I said, his biggest strength in this set, and he plays the character probably that maximizes on those reads the best.
Right.
Very, very fitting play style.
I just really appreciate that. Even though he was at 100-something%, he was still more than willing to go for his reads and his mix-ups. Oh wow.
Zasa shrugging that one off. Didn't think it would be that easy, it would appear. Almost with the fadeaway down air. Would have been an instantaneous death. Zasa beginning the plank now. This is where people get frustrated. You got to watch out. If KPAN runs in here, he will get absolutely deleted.
We do have a...
And it looks as if...
edge cancel.
Yeah, you can't, like now, like when Zasa, when you're standing and banging with Zasa, fighting him in a phone booth and he's beating you, and then he runs to the ledge and starts planking you, it's got to be absolutely infuriating.
We do have experience though, because soft.
Yes, soft, as you know.
One of the fathers of doing
Yes,
that.
I was going to say, KPAN might actually be more comfortable playing a puck that's not always in his face.
Yeah, honestly. Even though
the Let's Go KPAN, Let's Go Clap Clap chants are beginning here in Georgia, led by NC's very own Flaming Roy.
Hey, wait a minute.
Dude, he's officially NC after that Wizrobe set.
Honorary NC.
Close set here. Zasa looking to control.
Oh, okay. He wanted the tech roll there.
Zasa looking for, I think winner of this is what, guaranteed 7?
Yeah.
Or no, or is it loser gets 7?
Or loser gets 7, yeah. It's top 8. I think he could have chanced a rest there, but...
Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. He doesn't, he does do that quite a bit. Like, that's something I've noticed about him just in playing in NC is that there are times where there's really obvious rests that he just won't go for, but he'll go for these buck wild off the wall rests.
Yeah.
And I think that's because he's like, almost like downloading you. Like he used to, back when he was kind of like a mid-level NC player, when he first kind of appeared from the darkness of net play, he would do this thing where he would just let you recover.
Yeah.
And he would just let you recover to see how you recovered. And that's a habit that you can't, that's something that you really can't teach. Some people have to like learn that on their own. Like you can tell people about it and then they're aware of it, but implementing it into your game, that ability to just like watch people and let them do what they want so that later on you can use it, very hard to do in a game like this where there's so many variables to consider. But Zasa making it look easy.
I just see Zasa at his computer, you know, playing that play and then just like maps and charts. He just takes note of everything.
Maps and charts. This young man came very close to quitting Smash Brothers after Super Smash Con. He was very deterred by his bracket, his seeding, his performance.
Oh no!
Here he is at probably the largest tournament he's been to since maybe Famicom, I think, and he's playing very, very well. KPAN, however, is looking to win this game on his counterpick. Tree of Life map is up.
So you see some of the times when Zasa, you know, it looks like he has really bad DI on some of his hits. It's because KPAN's catching him when Zasa's trying to drift away. So it's a kind of a mix. Oh no!
Oh, and he messes up just a little bit, gets the neutral B going out. There's no way that's on purpose. These guys are putting on one heck of a set for this crowd, and they are responding appropriately.
Oh, and he still finds his way in. It's very impressive stuff from Zasa. You know, even though,
like I said, this guy is a competitor. I don't think you can't really kill him. Like you can't hit him with anything that's going to shake him. Like he's very collected, very collected guy.
Dude, this is scary. Like if Puff gets that one, this percent, you know, Puff gets that rest percent.
Stack it up, beginning. Zasa could be looking for that explosivo. Kevin wants to keep this at bay until he's ready. KPAN getting ready to make his move.
Oh.
Zasa sharking away at that grab button.
Trying to bait him in, but KPAN doesn't have to go in yet, you know? He can take his time. Oh, that's not going to do it. At that time, Zasa was ready to DI, so he wasn't trying to do it for anything, so...
Zasa,
oh my god!
My goodness. Hey. Are you there, Sleepy?
Oh my
Hey.
Good night, KPAN. Good night, KPAN. Dude, was that a reaction up tilt?